So quickly before our guests proceed, let me just highlight the talking points again. Okay, you got that. So,
Thank you all so much. The chairman for Center for Intellectual Freedom. Center for Intellectual Freedom. Ketfala Kane. Members of the Executive Committee of this great and noble Intellectual Center. You have my honor. And to all of you, Congress and members of this Intellectual Center. Let me also say to you, my respect and honor to all of you. And I've seen few members of the folk estate here. You have my honor as well. And I've seen the president of the Motorcyclist Union of Liberia, the Supreme Motorcyclist Union, Chokon Bay, Elias, Yellow Machine. You have my honor. So I'd like to bring you greetings from the Youth League of the CDC, and in my own name and the name of my family, friends, admirers, and supporters. For the records, I'm the Vice Chair for Operations and Political Education of the CDC Youth League. I'm very proud to see the chairman of this forum, who 10 years ago when I used to go to Area Street, you're one of those young and exuberant militants, intellectual enthusiasts who always be at the back of CO, hearing the voice of intellectualism being echoed to him. And then when he said to me, veteran, we have our own career now, having fetched on the oasis of knowledge and rationalism. We think we can now have a rendezvous of our own image and likeness, where young men and women can come and fetch from the repository hotbed of intellectualism. And I said that was good of you, and that was good of him. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm glad that you have morphed, better still metamorphosed into a very grown intellectual. The team of officers here present, all the members constant. I wish you guys all the best. So, sorry if you follow me, maybe my voice. Of course, you know that this is rainy season, and I know that everyone is on the weather. So I'll take my time and drive through and navigate through. Now I'll take my time to also do due diligence on the subject matter. So for the record again, my name is Alvin Wesseh. A Liberian who graduated from high school, particularly James Zoyo Assembly of High School, 17 years ago, 2007-2008. For those of you who don't know some of my records, it is good to register that. I served as a former child broadcaster on the famous Omni Radio in 2005. There was a program by the name of the RCDB, the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, Omni Radio. At that time, there was no CDC around. To place you on that radio, you must be vectored, processed, X-rayed, microscoped before you can play on the journalistic pedestal. Those days, I used to follow radio very closely, very religiously. And by the time news hours are about to reach my intellectual antenna, my tentacles, journalistic tentacles, used to be very tall to guard the signal. But I used to listen to some good readers. Like on the radio, I used to listen to Patience Guanu, Eva Flomo, Yere Allison, Fasia Harris, Josephine Ogudu, the late Otelo Yasia, and then the station manager himself, Mr. Kojo Mensah. But then before you are qualified to form part of the child broadcasting team, like I said, you must have gone through the rudiments in terms of crossing the T and dotting the I's. And so, yeah, so I passed through that discipline, and that's why people who don't know me in their state of subconscious mental paranoia. I repeat, people who don't know me in their state of subconscious mental megalomania. And first I said paranoia, now I'm saying what? Megalomania. The question about background intellectually, and I ask question, how well the AI generation, ChatGPT generation really know people like us? Because during our time, our appetite and insatiable drive to navigate through the books and the libraries was something that we have passion for. We're disciplined not to have sat in classrooms, unquestioned bench debate. So we did not come to this stage by intellectual and academic accident. We pay our dues and we're processed intellectually. So after Omni Radio, I was also privileged by my school to have been represented at the famous Star Radio. Small you were not around, or you were around, but you were much smaller at the time. At that time, the competition in Liberian media landscape was between Star Radio and Omni Radio. That way you had the cream de la cream of the journalistic profession. And so on Star Radio, it was Julius Kanumba, the current president of PUL, asking that there was one Alvin Wesseh who participated in what was now referred to as Star High School Report. The name the program was, the name to that of the name of the Star Radio. So Star High School Report. So as a president of the Voice of Scorpion, my school press club, automatically I got privileged to have gotten an opportunity to be part and parcel of Star Radio. So I give you a background of my intellectual and academic growth. So Star Radio was not a joke. The staff at Star Radio at the time were not for fun. Let me get you some lineup. You can go. The guy who was currently the nighttime presenter on Prime FM. What's his name? Summer George. He was a chief host of the I Beg to Differ. How many of you were around? I Beg to Differ. What are the older guys? I Beg to Differ. Summer George was the host for that. We have Mataya Dafa, we have Bruce Bowen. We have the late Horatio Bobby Willie. He was the sports journalist and economic analyst. Then there was a lady that used to admire very well by the name of Vivian Gatti. The genius of a reader, Vivian Gatti. Then we have the program director. So 17 years ago, I can still remember everything of her. Michael Toe, former program director, Star Radio. Then we have the current PUL president, Mr. Julius Kanumba. I think he was a legislative reporter. So I just used to admire the guys. At that time, I was never a politician. My journey was to become a professional journalist. So I was fluctuating between Omni Radio and Star Radio. And I managed to have grant and to affect from the repository and oasis of that journalistic frontier. And so when it comes to grammar and the Queen's language, I have the incipiency, the foundation. I have the embryology, or the embryology. It's the same as the foundation. So that's the previous trait. So when I enrolled at UMU, Liberia University, then my appetite for journalism digressed a bit and shifted to another profession. Because my mother is a nurse, and she said to me, Kangar Wesseh, what I call most young Kangar. She's a militant as well. And I said, and she said to me, Kangar Wesseh, young Kangar, you gotta go into the sciences and major in biology. In my high school grades, at least I used to score 100 in biology. At least I used to score 100 in biology. I'm not saying I used to score 100 in all of the subjects, but at least in my terrain, in my field, I used to score 100 in biology. And so when you look at the biology grades, and she told me, boy, you can go to do biology major, but I'm not too strong in chemistry. So I did major biology chemistry minor, and I enrolled at the United Methodist University 2009. So 2008, I graduated from high school, 2008, and 2009, I entered UMU first semester. When I entered UMU first semester, I was concerned, how come UMU only get one gate? So the other time the administration was passing around to look for students that were OAE. When I saw that there was only one gate at UMU, I was caught right-handed. Again, I came from the master's background. My sponsor now had the opportunity to have continued that academic sojourn. And that's how at UMU, the one book that says school fee door came, and I wanted to escape, but there was no, I saw all of those. Only one gate. So the man coming right at the gate, they said, come and we said, you're not paying your fees, your tuition. So in that process, I took entrance, the Liberia entrance. And so given the need that since I can continue in the sciences, particularly biology, let me go do something in agriculture, because that's the same science, agricultural science. Because I knew I wanted to read about something scientific, using the scientific method of Galileo Galilei. I needed to go and navigate through the scientific method. I needed to go to still read a little bit about Kangar-Lawrence, Robert Hope, to read. I needed to still be in the sciences to read about Vivian Mendel, the father of genetics. And I needed to read more in the sciences, and so I navigated through the agriculture college. And I had the need for more agricultural students was of essence and of paramount concern. And I took the university entry in 2009 and 10. So 2009, 2010, I got enrolled at the University of Liberia, precisely in the College of Agriculture. So I stayed in the sciences. And so, when I enrolled, my passion for politics became a very serious and interesting moment in student politics and history. I then joined movements like SOUP, at the time SOUP history. I examined the history of SOUP, followed the politics of War Capital Fiat, Wowi Daba, Tunyo Retezin, Obulu Lavla, Fedjo Gobakoli, Irina Nessin, and I was officiated, fascinated about suits, politics, the struggle, history, and I got involved with student activism on the banner of the Student Education Party. But let me say this for the records. Since the day of my expulsion at the Syrian University, I dismember of myself from the Student Education Party, of this current generation, and of this current epoch of student militants. From the days of Nathan Powell coming all the way to this current generation, I don't consider myself a sophist. I subscribe to the ideological and philosophical beliefs of the Avant-Garde Party, a party established 10 years ago on the baton of the Federal Student Movement that meant I'm opposed to the Progressive Student Alliance of the Syrian University. And I still sympathize with the historical soup of Wogapi Tapia, Wiwi Daba, Tunyo Retezin, Bobolu Lavla, Irina Nessin, Fedjo Gobakoli, and all the guys who progenited and gave birth to this ideological belief. That generation of soup from 2014 to now, I'm not a member of that. That generation of soup that supports the Unity Party to several protests, I'm not a member of that. That generation of soup that will go and do business with Tui Party remnants and look at a man from Gibraltar, Georgia, and say, you are not part of, then you don't know the history of soup. So, between the United Party and CDC, the SU will be sympathetic ideologically with any political party in this country. It should not be the United Party. Why it should not be the United Party? It's not the United Party because the United Party is an offshoot of the moribund decadence of the oligarchy, reactionary, hostile social forces on the banner of the Tui Party. The United Party is a byproduct of the Tui Party political extension and hegemony. The United Party was established in 1984 after the demise of the Tui Party. The United Party was given birth as an extension of the Tui Party. So that's why the United Party is 41 years and the CDC is about 20 years. But how do you give a dichotomy between the United Party and the CDC? It's by policy difference, their national view on governance issues, their style of leadership, their policies, and their programs. So, if you are in soup and you speak about massive classes but you go against the masses movement, then you are a contradiction to yourself. If you are an issue and you support a United Party, then you're committing a class suicide and a class accident. Because there's nothing in the United Party that resembles massive classes. They don't chant Munyan there. They don't chant Amanda. Look at our press conferences. Go and see their leadership configuration. Cross-examine their policies and programs. Nothing in the United Party's operations that resemble massacre. And so when you look at CDC, those who funded the CDC, when you look at their history, where they came from, then if you are a student leader, you sympathize with CDC as opposed to the Unity Party. And so, for the record, based on all the analysis, and I've got expert from the university arbitrarily, you know the history, I became more sympathetic to the CDC than to that of the Unity Party because I put the two parties on the pedestal. I look at George Weah and I look at Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And then I said, who is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? The stand-up brother, the best stand-up brother of the Unity Party, and Joseph Human Boakai. And I realized that they were the class enemies of the historical Twi Party, and they were the last mafias of the political status quo that governed Liberia for 133 years. So I said, no, but I can't do business with the Unity Party. Let's go to CDC. Let's look at the configuration of CDC. In the CDC, as a young man who went to Mavisoni, at the junior high school level, I completed my junior high school education in Mavisoni, right on Clarendon. Then I went to James Oyo in the same Clarendon community. So I could see George Weah in me, a representation of George Weah in my community. So I knew that this was my son. Because if George Weah can come from Gibraltar, and I'm in Pijo Garage and going to Mavisoni and James Oyo Assembly of God School, it means that George Weah and myself we are on the same ideological wavelength. Not with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of the Unity Party. And that's how I support the CDC, and I continue to support the CDC based on my own analysis. Not that the CDC is perfect, but I believe if you want to do politics in this country, if you are a student leader, or maybe you follow progressive politics, and you choose to be fair to your conscience, and your reasoning in terms of judgment, if you do a comparison between the Unity Party and the CDC, you'll be more sympathetic to the CDC than the Unity Party. The Unity Party, you can see that it is an arrangement of the petite bourgeoisie. We're talking about the bourgeoisie, we're talking about the political elite class. Or those who will call them the sophists. Or will call them the false aristocrats. So, that's how they consider themselves. In the CDC, you can see a man at 12, a Karas grade. At the time, this blonde artist, Mulapema Young Blonde, late, Safoko. You know that there's something called massive transit embedded within the CDC operation. That's it. Exactly. So that's how we gravitated to and started supporting the institution. So I don't belong to that movement on campus, but I support and I subscribe to avant-gardism and egalitarianism. And so, by 2014, 15, I should have graduated from university in 2015. When the United Party government saw that I was very tough on the government and the administration, they penetrated the Student Unification Party. They dish out cash. When they dish out cash, they infiltrated the system. And they bankrolled few dollar disciples. They collected them and they say, when we explain Alvin Wesseh, you got to listen yourself. So they might do your own thing. And so, at that time, the University was a center space, was a it was a cradle of intellectualism at the time. Called at the Theta Crescent. For those of you ready, Egyptology, the Egyptian history. Read about the Theta Crescent, and so forth, Mesopotamia. Read about the Euphrates River and the Tigris River, and you read about those things, the Theta Crescent. At that time, Egypt was at the cradle of civilization. So, when they saw that we were so powerful, we were so strong, and then they infiltrated soup.
What's that picture, Mr. Money?
And they put money in soup. And they said when we expel Alvin, we said nobody must support him because he gave me a hard time too much on the university campus. And let me say this to you. Most of the young militants that are following student activism, insofar you continue to be in soup on the university campus, you always sympathize with Unity Party because for one reason. I got to know that. When I came to high school, I was excited, like I told you, about the politics of the politics of work capital, right? When I entered soup and I reached at the arrondissement, please take note, arrondissement, meaning the Zenith. Please take note. Or the pinnacle of intellectualism. I got to realize that anything you do is soon, when a veteran agree, you want your own. So at that time, when I got to take a 4 minutes of finance. We are listening to Liberia and those following. They lose stock up. He's will be the same position. He can't grow. He can't grow. Liberia is dogmatic. He can't grow. Let's see information minutes. The same position. Why guys will be in. So for him, he can't grow yet there. Because the guy, if you take him from here, he came to technical position. To be embarrassed, to be disgraced. So you have to keep him over there to unleash venom, impudence, insolence, and cacophonious remarks on decent people. One of the prophets is in something.
Yeah. Come here, please. Don't do that. Nana, come here, please. Nana. Hey. When you honor the canopy of this terrain, is protected. Please, you will not tolerate that.
And so that's how we managed to. So when they expel me, then all the veterans will say, oh yeah, because when you say Augustine Begafon at the time, you're going to run to Augustine Begafon for help. When you say Jalime, you want to say you can't be going to school politics, not real, but you know, I mean, you can't, they will call you, oh yeah, there's a guy called Jalime Pia, Toba. But when they increase tuition on the university students, the guys are in the government. On go talk early say, but you're not telling about one campus, you lost your job. Don't say, but you're not part of the student education party. The student education party. The puzzle. Ellen told him, you're going to tell them for one campus. They put increased tuition for most of the part of the US. And you, Gafwan, Jeremy, all of you got benefited from the State University. But I got to realize that majority of the veterans are from Sioux. Are from Sioux. So when United Party is in power, it is difficult for Sioux to fight. Because they get up and share opinion over when the militants from Sioux. Because they get coffee woods. Right? They get Kubanya. They get Larry Toba. All of them in government. At the time they get farm, all the guys are in government. So when you go too high, you see you get a ball from our campus. And they did. And then when we were called, oh, you gotta apologize. You know, Jim Militant, you gotta apologize to Ellen Jones Salim. And then apologize to the party. So I asked them, so what's my plan? He said, oh, you know. I said, where's my plan? No, I mean, nobody will increase tuition from 175 to 4 US. And I'm 18. I said, when I apologize, we the veteran, when I talk to you, you know the woman can be talking to her, working in your government. I said, but you guys are all benefactors of the free tuition, I mean, of the free education at the State University at the time. So you can say the government on early want to increase tuition from 175 4 US, we'll talk about it. And you say the woman will talk, so we should not go. And that's how the guys could not help me. So I asked myself, the big brothers who came before us, and we on campus, and Ellen increased tuition to from 175 4 US, they did not say anything. And they decided to go expel you. Should I continue to support them? Right? So this is the same thing happening now. The current Sioux politics is Sioux generation. Go and follow 6 years on a job here. Sioux were brutal. Sioux were ballistic. What the politics? During our time, we are expelled, right? During Georgia time, when Sioux got brutal, no militant of Sioux were expelled under Georgia leadership. That's, I mean, if I'm maybe overly stating, please correct me. Nobody, right? Because at that time, most of the veterans of Sioux were outside, they were jobless. You were young, jobless scientists. Today he goes to Dikaba, he takes picture. So jobless scientists. Alare Toba, he used to wear khaki. Alare used to wear khaki to go run behind a small beginning. Alare, I mean, go check the videos. There views from years ago. Alare Toba, he used to be on temple. Anyway, children panda used to go there. They have all charu for the children. So the sweetie men, they are reactionaries. But he was there. Even people who graduated from university, their alma mater, you go there, they say you're good man. All of you are witnesses. For example, I graduated from university. Say, remember, I was there, assistant minister when I'm making your boy. Is that so happy? What's your politics? The great Samuel did what Junior. One of the intellectuals at our university, Samuel did what? Very great intellectual. The man went away, I call him Nathan McGill, a veteran as well. They were chased, beaten, and booed. Akaos Moses grave. Chased, beaten, and booed. Who else? Serena Sipos, former Vice President, Dwyer Taylor. Eh? I lost your the guys were beaten, they were chased. Why? Because there were instruction passed from the veteran to the military on camera by then. Anybody else see from CDC you're beaten. Is that how we should proceed? Now, the same soup will go and invite Rachel Kun on campus. They feel they invited Jerry Limepia on campus. They're not beating or booing. No. Like I said to you, I'm a member of SOUP, and not that generation. From 2014 to 2025, I'm not a member of that generation. I'm a member of the 1970s SOUP of World Cup Tapia, Bouy Daba, Tune Regency, Molu Lavla, Fadio Kobakoni, all the guys. They won here. The SOUP that told Henry Costa on campus. Henry Costa, co-speakers and co-speakers. So, how you celebrate Henry Costa? What we say, Alvin Wesseh. They say believe in massive classic. That generation, were they taking money from everybody? Get the point? So today, Jerry Limepia can go on campus. They say he's our veteran. I call him, what's the bunny? This puppet of speaker, a kangaroo speaker, a regime puppet of a speaker, Rachel Puppet Kun. They can buy your campus. Then he goes there to teach. Nobody can run behind him. When somebody from CDC go there, and they say, you may now have a veteran. How are you, comrades? Is your taste your opinion? Spending small time, and concluding the matter. So, in my summation, there are more veterans from SOUP that in United Party than CDC. Our SOUP always go against CDC. Let me repeat. In my summation, the reason why you see CDC, SOUP hates CDC more than hating United Party is because there are more veterans. I talk about veterans, people who are mentors to these militants. There are more veterans in United Party. And not for ideological reason, only because a veteran of the Student Liberation Party is in United Party, and there are more than the comrades are in the CDC. So for that reason, you see more attacks against the CDC, and you see more support and sympathy to the United Party. So 6 years on a job here, that attack you saw, it was a joint collaborative effort and combined effort of jobless SOUP veterans, then the jobless Sunday, Adekoyin, Dubayan, Chris Dubayan, Adekoyin, the board from Finance Ministry, the criminal who is now taking 2.8 million, what's the name? Gafwan. Look guys, all the jobless boys, they used to be in opposition, inciting the Congress to go against masses-driven policies, populist policies, masses-party policies. People, somebody going to do complain and pay road, say that, and somebody get free tuition and say, where are you taking the money from? So how they indoctrinated the militants with false revolutionary literature to go against one of the sons of the masses-party indoctrination and politics. So today now, if you were to go down in the University campus, if you were to go down in the University campus now, I'm going to the issue, don't worry. Trying to navigate through. We're going to go back to the university now. The real issues you see, they're watching. They're not going for Gafwan. Gafwan say, we must pray for the economy. They're not going for Dr. Human Baga, Kofi Wu, the national security advisor to who? Baga, right? So when the security is overly active, when there's insecurity, when there's brutality, ritualistic killing, mysterious deaths, everything, who is all deal with your veteran, right? Right? The national security advisor to the president. But it's a sacred and untouchable sacred white cow. So instead of going for the people, like Liberia, like Dubayan, like Gafwan, the other guys who are now two veterans that work in government because they control the decision-making processes now. On them Bakai, instead of going after them, they will go after Mustafa Raji. Who don't know anything about the rescue mission. So the money you go there, start pumping the money, throwing, Tony, because they don't want to hurt the regime. They don't want to hurt the regime. So just watch it. So they are, for the nonsense here, their politics will be a challenge. Their politics will be maybe just in the confines and perimeter of the Universal Barrier. They will not come outside. I'm looking forward to a day where they will come outside and challenge Gafwan. That if the day it challenges Gafwan, Liberia, Kofi Wu, Stephen Johnson, the lady at the health ministry, what's her name? She's a veteran. Dr. Poto is a veteran. The day challenge the deplorable health sector we have here, the day start challenging those people, then I'll give support, open support towards that. That's the reason why July 17th protest, the North supported that. Why? Because we're informed never to do so and not to do so. So I'm not surprised when we see some of militants operating in a way and everything. So a big history is categorized by who they expel you, who they have not expelled before. They put Fidel Castro in jail the first time they attempted to overthrow him from Francisco Batista. Right? Nelson Mandela, go and read history. In 1941, Mandela was placed behind bar for leading a popular student protest. Nelson Mandela, you are expelled because led student protest. What's his name? Steve Biko. Yeah. Biko established the Black Consciousness Movement. Around 1970, 1972, Biko got expelled from the University of Natadu because he led the revolt. Said the students will not be taught in Africana language. Need to be taught in their own language. You were beaten, in fact, you got killed by the forces of apartheid. So when it comes to all the experience from Kali, so there's a difference between Kali's Gao and somebody who they expel from university. I'm Gao from Kali. You know, they probably took my education from me. And they thought that they took my brains from me, no. But when Mandela was in prison, Mandela was writing books. In prison, you're writing books. Long March to Freedom. You're writing books. So there's one thing to expel a revolutionary, but you cannot expel it at yes. They wanted to kill a revolutionary, We can actually adhere to the revolutionaries.
Check.
So I took the university course and I went back to school. Even to go back to school, I was delayed until 2023 before. Under my own government, I was delayed as a result of the due process. Sign bond, oh, let me come out and not do student politics again. And I told the people, I said, but assistant minister, I'm going to go do student politics. Oh, for nothing. I train militants. A lot of young intellectuals, mentees that I train. You can go there and do some politics. I'm an old man, I pass that stage. I can go there now and go lecture. The university student for me to lecture. So until those things can be corrected at that university, people will continue to be behaving the way they behave. And of the convention, there is a challenge. I think Stan launched another protest July, December, right? Let's see where they'll support it. If they support it, I'll support them. But if the president says don't support it, Mora bread man, oh, you're too fun. You can support somebody who gets chin on your throat. Oh, come here. What did liberation theology, liberation movement has to do with somebody? Go look at Murray Bishop, you're one of the finest revolutionaries. Che Guevara. You don't see Che Guevara here? In front of Malou. And that's not Che Guevara, the Argentine-born revolutionary. He made his father than Malou. Go to the Pineda movement and read the politics of Morris Bishop. The man found. Front of Malou. Who does that book and suppose to go to the fan or the bread? That because you find excuses not to support the 2017 protest. So I don't support that. The day you support me, I support you. The day you don't support me that day, I withdraw my support from you.
And we want to know how is the CDC after their eviction?
Okay.
By the HQ.
Yeah, so eviction is moderator. What the United Party wanted, our political leaders said going to pay faith to them. And I'm sure that the prices now have been reduced. Brokers picking the money again. Corruption is no longer at the increase. Liberians, our parents have sufficient school fees and they can pay their current school fees after the demolition exercise. Hospitals now have drugs. There's more food supply in quantitative proportion. And the economy is better, no inflation now is stabilized, macroeconomic issues are okay, nobody's suffering in the country again. And so, what Baga wanted, he got it. And the party headquarters have been given to Baga since it was how Baga thought that he could maybe come after the CDC or attack the CDC. So we have transitioned to one of our sub-party headquarters. Right here. Yeah, station number 8, Plumper. We are there. But the thing about it, party headquarters do not make parties. It is parties that make party headquarters. If you are Muslim, another building makes Islam. No, the idea. The idea. The same with Christians. It is not the building that makes Christianity, that the Bible, that the doctrine. That's the doctrine. So, but who talking about party headquarters? You know the party? If we talk about party headquarters, then you know the party must shut up. Because you know the party ourselves does not have a party headquarters. But when talk about party, talk about ownership of a property belonging to a particular party. Does the Yoruba party have one in your possession, in your name? No. It doesn't. So the Yoruba party does not have a party headquarters on its own. And the Yoruba party is too old for that because you were born 1984. They say you were born 2004. So let us start comparing yourself with CDC. As old as that little age, Yoruba party, she must start making comparison with this 20-year-old child, CDC, 20-year-old born. You are 41 years. You don't get party headquarters. But let's use our own logic. Let's use our own logic. If the argument is because CDC doesn't have party headquarters, so 2029 CDC will not win election, then we say the argument is feeble, it's disdain, it's vague, it has no currency, no value.
So in short, you mean that the particular invention is not a distraction to 2029?
No, but if it was a distraction, then by now you know the party we are still being opposition. Okay. Because you were evicted 4 times from a party headquarters, 4 times. 4 different times. The party changed party headquarters 4 times. So if it was because of party headquarters, then the Liberian people wouldn't have elected the Unity Party and elected Walker to the presidency. So, party headquarters, no party headquarters, it does not stop the CDC. That's the point I'm making. Okay. Because the Unity Party don't have party headquarters, or Kungotan, most recent party headquarters was Kungotan, right? They took her from there. And she went up the road there, way in the corner of Brooklyn, you go squeeze yourself there. Right up there, way up on Broad Street. In a small place in one elections. So when we right to the election, up here, we can win elections. Because party headquarters in another building, and they know human being you get to vote. There are political parties with due respect that got plenty of party headquarters, big party headquarters, but they not get human being. So if party headquarters can win election, then that 3 party headquarters behind them, look at 3 party headquarters, they get a big project. State of the art party headquarters is big gentleman Everest. 2 party headquarters. They get the tower of Babel. Very big. They want the men of paying to reach where to go. Why they can't win election? 2 party ready to send your bank. So we're not in party headquarters competition with anybody. The difference is that we were responsible, we pay all of our rent, the fees and everything we pay. But the Yoruba Party, they could not pay. They could not pay to maintain their party headquarters. So that is the difference. Then somebody wrote on Facebook, one of the Yoruba Party puppets, Tabula Razan, wrote on Facebook and said, oh, CDC, your veteran minister, the listed assets, mansion. Do you follow owned by officials of CDC who were in the government of Georgia? They want to listen here, they say, oh, people pay their personal mansions and they not pay your party economy. And they made that argument. And somebody asked me, they said, what's your opinion? I said, but let's do reverse psychology. Replace Nathaniel Fallow Magedi and pay own mansion. Just take 20 from there. Take, what's the name? Samra Woloko, take a knee from there. Take a car, all of them pay mansion on a Georgia government, right? So like recently they don't pay part of the city. See that the argument? And now your own logic. So that do a parity reasoning. Take all people need that and just replace them with Gafan, replace them with Kofi Wu, replace them with the same people that were you know, Anthony Endo, Saye, Julio Doggin Cassell, Akirele, just place them in there. No, all of them too, American. So all of them spent 12 years on Buakai and early administration, and about to spend another 6 years. But they pay mansion for themselves while working in government, without paying party headquarters for the United Party as well. I hope you get in the logic. So 12 years, Eri and Buakai. the people that work in United Party government were officials, all the big guys. They built mansion for themselves too. They didn't pay party headquarters for their parties in the United Party, tiny miscreants or small puppets. They all built party for you. So you see the contradiction? So you get the point. So they say when you want to clean somebody's eye, you should what? If you say there's somebody's eye, you must make sure all the bags in your eye, you have to take everything from there. United Party is for the 1 year, 1984 born. 12 years, early and Baka. All the big guys that say are government officials on that regime, on that United Party government, they not be one party government for United Party. 12 years plus 6 years, how many years? The mathematician here, how many years? 18. 18 years. So 18 years. So when they complete 2029, they'll be 18 years. It means that they will spend 18 years without party headquarters. They will spend 18 years without party headquarters. And they are yet to still find a place to pay for themselves another party headquarters. So the guy who wrote that argument are using your own argument to defeat him. We're not going to read 15 pages. Get them, Simon 12, Magete, all the people need both on that. Replace the United Party, say the people that have mansions on their own. But where are the party headquarters for United Party? Now all you need to tell him.
So before we sample concerns, we want to know what is your general perspective in regards to the Waka and administration with only 2 years in their 6 years rule. How do you see it with key emphasis on the rule of law, education, health?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Sorry, I'm not. I told you I'm not aware.
Okay.
So forgive me as I say true. The first thing, Mr. Moderator, let me raise up this to all of you here. That nobody in the country will go to the party 24 years. No, I repeat, nobody in this country, and please take this, for those of you who are members of the folk estate, please take this. Liberia will return to civil war if United Party imposes itself on the Liberian people 2029. The reasons are very simple. Take this message. Anybody who is attempting to rig election or to superimpose themselves against the way and pleasure of the Liberian people, Liberia will return to civil classes at their own peril. The reason is simple. For after the war, how many years Liberians gave to the United Party? How many years? In a 12 years? After CDC, 6 years. How many years they gave the United Party again? 6 years. 6 years. So 6 plus 6, how many years? 6 plus 12, how many years? 18 years, right? So assuming they're not betting that United Party comes to power, as they are all claiming the death of CDC, and they're thinking that they are already won the election 2029. Assuming not betting the election 2029, how many years do you United Party? 24. Eh? 24. How many years? 24. So they agree that you're not part of CDC, you're not part of ANC, you're not part of CMC, you're not part of Liberty Party, you're not part of ALP. If I Musa Assembly, all the political parties, in fact, they look at single man political parties that coming up, you say, man, I'm helping fair, no problem. Then you're not part of all of the political parties, you know the party chairman called helping fair. Then you're not part of all the political parties. Are you telling me that you're ready to go back to the days of two party? Because 24 years, it means that at one party stage you are inaugurating. I mean, simple logic. So, 6 years, how many years? 24 years. 24 years. How many of you here waiting to get you by 24 years? They agree that you have CDC. Maybe you can choose through Alternative National Congress, the CMC or political party. How many of you are willing to say we'll get you by 24 years in this country? I'm waiting for the audience to ask the hard questions. I'm just going through.
Alright?
Yeah, so please give me signal. Yeah, let me just learn on this.
So you lay on that foot there.
Yeah. Let me learn on the top.
So we don't want to keep you here.
Yeah, let me learn.
So you land on it, then we suffer some concern.
Yeah. So, our democracy is not prepared. Are you getting me? Our democracy is not prepared to give one party 24 years. So, 2029, election will be an opposition victory. It will be a super election for opposition. Nobody will wait that time. Nobody in the South region, in the West, nobody will let to gamble laborious, fragile democracy to one party system. It's not possible. It's not going to work in the country. Absolutely. It's not going to work 2029. The United Party had 12 years on early, 6 years on Baka. They cannot call for another 6 years. That is politically gluttonous and rapacious. I repeat, that is politically what? Gluttonous and rapacious. They're going to undermine the fabric of our democracy and put the country to a brink of democratic collapse. It's not going to happen. So, if you are here from United Party as small miscreants, then make sure you get in the system, you get in small team. Because don't wait your time to say 2029, we let Jeremiah Kunlola, civil war is beginning. Not possible. We're not going to say you go one party 24 years. Not possible. That's not possible. And the election, they say, oh, Georgia is people. Don't wait your time. And not Georgia election. That one election, that young people election, that brand election, that motorcycle election, ticket driver, Tesla driver, all the people throwing out civil servants, and all the people beating the transport ministry, the people taking the call of beer, the people attachment steal the party haircut at the election there. And you reducing people to call beer, to call Sabu to go to work. And the most coolest government I ever seen impose war Liberia. It's very cool. You steal attachment, then go to call beer. Which are governments are? Huh? What kind of beerless governments are? The governments what? Beerless. I'm first time to see beerless government.
Mother! So what is it? Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Moderator, sorry. Go ahead. So, we shouldn't just keep on my book before about the CDC part. So, let me just get you a joke. And the party Mr. Moderator, I told you an animal no more the letter. I'm managing the safety. I had an interview and I knew that the guys were having ammunition. The boy they called Gregor Coleman, the former SOD board. And yeah. So I mean we said, don't come here. Listen, you can't arrest me, don't waste your time. We have confronted dangerous police directors before you. Gregor Coleman. Go ask Mark Ambler and Press Massacre who confronted them. During our days on the front, we stopped Eddie from entering the Parliament Hall. Sir, we declare Eddie on second star Philistine, Shona Holy, to have mounted the sacred sun flow of the intellectual parameters, particularly the religious and political Parliament Hall. So, Mark Ambler, Chris Massacre, Eddie Coman. So, Gregor Coman, the other day, they went to 15 cartoons of their push and zombie draw the toges. They were carrying it. Our informants and soldiers in the system gave us our intelligence and how to help interview on all the radio stations. And the guys were taking beer arms to CDC party headquarters. Only to implicate the CDC were troublesome people and that were in the possession of illegal weapons. And so, in terms of resistance, we're actually prepared to resist. Mr. Chairman, we have the forces all around the place for security reasons, I can't tell you. But the forces, the ground forces, will go out. You see from 2029 now. Everybody think the president, 2029 is a cakewalk. If anybody thinks in their slightest arrogance or pomposity thinks that the presidency, the race of 2029 is a cakewalk. Let them try nonsense. And then the former president called all his comrades. Y'all gotta disengage. They don't waste your energy on the comrades. They're prepared to engage the people. Our country to a new party headquarters. 2029 we are doing bugging. But what we did was we bought few parts of candy. We bought few parts of attachment. Human hair. We bought them. So the guys came with 8 trucks. 8 trucks. Men and men 4 a.m. in the morning. Big truck, so weapon. And when they go take all the people from the border, then when they put on again in uniform. You know that the operating of parallel military pseudo junta, police force. Put the guys in uniform. Went to the party headquarters. No normal policeman will take attachment. No normal policeman will steal human hair. All the one will spare all the things as we're leaving the house without spraying the thing. And when I poke all around, the season party headquarters get 4 condoms. So I go the attachment, all the things just spray it. Because new criminals will enter in the place. Criminals will enter in the place. And the guys went. How you go to that kind of open place where you got open camera? Eh? No, we got one camera where I was there to a place there. And I had to shoot the guy. Man when start taking, start looting, human hair, everything. That kind of men were sent on peacekeeping mission. They don't get looting my hair. The current police force get looting my hair. Imagine send that men to go to Africa to go do peacekeeping mission. What happened? They'll deport them. They'll bring them. The problem, they are criminals. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Mother, that's the fun aspect of it.
So thank you so kindly. Like hear him, and we think that 2029 will be a cake ride. Trust me. I mean, you should be joking. So, like you said, that is normal political move to the weather. But trust me, the leadership of the center will bring it back, and by that time, we will have the true side of the vast care for operation, and also the political education at the level of CDC. So, let me make this clear. We want to keep our guests here for long. We are taking 1 minute. If you go beyond your 1 minute, I'll cut you up. Be straight to the point. If you have a question,